Government orders town's destruction for controversial reason.
Southern France's Salagou Valley was once home to a tiny unassuming town named Celis. The small area of land was well known for its dry, arid climate and dark red soil that stains skin and clothing, and the 63 inhabitants who made up the population were content with their simple lives.
Before we begin, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell for more amazing videos.
Everything changed, however, in 1959.
The local government forced every resident out of their homes, abandoning their livelihoods with nowhere to go.
The reason was absurd, and years later the wounds still haven't healed. As much as it might look like this quaint waterside village is something out of a movie, it's actually a very real town called Celis located in southern France's Salagou Valley.
And it's the center of a lot of controversy. Because, these days, the town looks far different than it used to back in the beginning of the 1900s. If you venture out to the Salagou Valley today, you'll find the area strewn with abandoned buildings. It's a sad sight, unfortunately. What once were the homes of residents are now crumbling structures where families were raised. Some of the windows are still intact, but ruins now overtake Celis. Celis was never a bustling city by any means, but at one point in time during the 1950s, it had about 65 residents who ensured the village ran smoothly every day. To this day, the reservoir around Celis is tranquil and scenic, but you would never know the water was actually the reason the town was so quickly abandoned. The events that unfolded in the late 1950s were heartbreaking. Prior to the residents fleeing Celis, nearly all of them were either farmers or winemakers, living off the land and honing agricultural methods. However, even though everyone lived simply, Celis faced a crisis. They were experiencing what was known as a viticulture crisis. Basically, too many people were making wine. The market was completely saturated with product, and prices were at an all-time low. So, in order to bring a bigger diversity of agriculture to the area, the local government figured building a reservoir would be an ideal option. But, they had to completely flood out the town of Celis to do so. Between the years of 1959 and 1968, the people of Celis were instructed to sell their homes. Those who didn't abide by the law were forced out by any means necessary. After an 11-year struggle, the town was deserted. What remained after the dictatorial government action was exactly what you'd expect. The skeletons of homes lay rotting away, and the peaceful energy that once filled the streets was nowhere to be found. Now that the residents were gone, the reservoir and dam were quickly completed. The water level slowly rose, but before it hit the expected level of 150 meters, it stopped 11 meters short. The water never even reached Celis. The town was totally deserted for absolutely no reason at all. People left their lives and abandoned everything they knew for an end result that never even happened. People were devastated by the outcome. That wasn't even the worst of what happened, either. After it was discovered there was an entire town up for grabs, squatters came in and began living in the skeletal remains of buildings. Looters took whatever goods were left. So, what was to come of this sad town that once housed hard-working Celis residents? Many would think all abandoned hope, when in fact, some people did try making a difference. Amazingly, 3 families actually agreed to sign long-term leases at Celis in an attempt to revitalize the village.
Of course, it will take a lot of hard work and dedication, but Celis mayor is confident it can happen. Her name is Joëlle Gaudel, and she's been fighting her entire life to help keep the idea of rebuilding Celis into what it once was alive and well.
But, it's been a struggle. We wanted a lively village. A village that's lively is a place where people work, where kids go to school, where people wake up in the morning to go to their jobs, Gaudel said. One beacon of hope for Gaudel is based on a special lease called a Bail Real Solidaire. What the lease states is whoever plans on moving in has to agree to take part in rebuilding the structural integrity. To enforce the lease, Celis is currently only welcoming people who can bring entire businesses in to kickstart some kind of economy. We chose people based on their project or the enterprise they will bring, said the mayor. Gaudel eventually wants Celis to become a functioning town again, but it's hard to say how many people are willing to join such a stressful undertaking. Those in charge knew from past events how hard it was to rally people for a cause like this. Please share this with your friends and family.